Hey, Get Free fam. So we have something new. You see it, our virtual space. And all of this is because over the last probably like 6 or 9 months or so, many of you have said, hey, I really enjoy the Get Free newsletter, but I wish there was a way that I could just listen to it or just be a fly on the wall to some of the conversations that are informing what is going into the Get Free guide. So because I listen and because we don't gatekeep here we are, our virtual space called the Get Free Convo. You are very welcome. Now, if you have received this and you have no clue who I am and you're like, who is this like random woman talking on the internet? My name is Joanne. I'm the creator of the Get Free Guide. And as I said, about a year ago, I launched the newsletter really as a way to tackle life because life is lifing. And when life is lifing, we can often feel stuck and we don't know how to get unstuck. And so that's what we do. We talk about getting free in big ways and small. It can be everything from your finances to relationships to tackling issues at work, all the way to I really wish that I had a hobby. What is something that I can do? Or my personal favorite, how can I get to a zero email inbox or inboxes? As is my case. So it really is getting free in all the ways that are important to you. Now, with the Get Free Convo, it is very much about the community and really think about it as an audio or video, if you're watching it, way of digging into a group chat, or maybe it's a conversation with a friend. You know, whenever we have those tough things that we're trying to navigate in life, that's what we do. We jump into the group chat, or we pick up the phone, we call a family member, or we call a friend. So that's what the Get Free conversations are, the Get Free combos are. So, a little bit of housekeeping. So you will notice that there is no Get Free Convo theme tune. There's no whiz bang graphics. There's no sharp editing. Because if you're calling a friend or you're jumping into the group chat, you don't do any of that. You literally just pick up the phone or you pick up, you do the text. It's very simple. So we are about peace and ease here at the Get Free Guide. And so that's what this product will be. Conversations, little intro, and that is it. Okay. So just setting expectations there. So let's jump in. So our first Get Free Convo really started when I was listening to a podcast and I heard this line and it said, I want to learn how to be so free, but guess what? The world ain't free to me. When I tell you that line like slayed me, took me out, I knew that I had to speak to the person who wrote that line. That quote is from Keisha TK Dutes and her new podcast series, The Secret Life of TK Dutes. TK is a host, a visual artist, a voice artist. She co-founded a radio station. She has a podcast out. You'll also hear her on NPR's Life Kit. She is a creator above all creators. And so we sat down to have a conversation about her podcast, The Secret Life of TK Dutes, and all the ways that she is trying to get free and what she's learning on her road to getting free. But just like how you start a conversation with a friend, either in the group chat or on the phone, you always ask how somebody is. So every conversation I have will start with the same question. How are you doing? And here's how TK answered. I'll put all of her information in the show notes, including links to The Secret Life of TK Dutes. I highly recommend that you go and check it out. All right. Enjoy the convo. I'll see you next time.
I'm good. I'm good.
It's so loaded these days.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you, big eyes?
But today, it's like you could only go day to day. So today I'm good. In the scope of things, honestly, I gotta be real. I feel pretty good. And I think that's part of this journey that I'm on with the show, with The Secret Life. And because it is a healing journey, and about my healing journey, like I'm in it. It's happening in real time. So either I'm okay or I'm not. And I think going through this, working through my stuff, I have no choice but to feel my feelings and then feel good afterwards. So right now I'm on an up. I feel good today. Yeah.
You know what? We will take the wins where we
Facts.
can, and that is a-okay. So you said that you're on a healing journey. Like we can talk about the work stuff, but
Yeah.
really kind of the work and the personal and the healing journey right now are really kind of all intersected
Yeah.
with this tour, with the Secret Life of TK Dutes. So kind of just tell us a bit about your healing journey, kind of what's the journey that you're going on? Where are you starting and where are you trying to get
Yeah.
to?
You know, I'm
She's like,
starting.
how much time you got?
Yeah, child. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna collate all the details here and give you the highlights. But I basically just like, as you do, we get tired of all the things, and life, hits us with the headlines. It's not just the work. The work shows us what other things in society like have like put on us, right? So I'm not just a person that produces, that makes work, that is a person that people look to. I'm a person that I'm a daughter, I'm a partner, and I'm also very sensitive to what the world has brought to all of our doorsteps, right? And over time, they call it weathering, though it weathers us, it takes us down, but I really began to feel it around Black Lives Matter, the COVID time. There was a lot happening. A lot of our colleagues were getting laid off, or they were getting work, but it was this new way of work on the computer. Like, it was just like a lot of things, and the uncertainty, I think it made folks act out sometimes, because we were all scared. And then some of us learned in this time period that there's a new way to be, right? When you see all those people making bread and, finding a, well,
sourdough really had a moment.
It really had a moment, child. And I'm like, I made one loaf, but I was like, maybe not my ministry. I tried some other things, but I really learned like, oh, I can produce the same level of work, whether or not I get up at 8 a.m. to get to somewhere at 9. I could do it at 1 p.m. and close my eyes at like midnight, but long as I get it done. The point is, COVID showed us that we could get it done. And then once you gave people that freedom to figure out how they can live, I think things started to change. So now it's not just me on a healing journey. I think a lot of people are realizing we don't have to live by a prescribed way. So now, once I started to break free from that, I got into trying to figure out my creativity, right? Like so what can I do with this other block of time that takes me away from the internet, takes me away from my inbox, takes me away from the source of the things, the trauma. It takes me away from TV, right? Like, because TV was showing us, and TV continues to show us, people that look like us getting their neck stepped on, you know what I'm saying? Like, young people getting arrested, like just the traumatic shit, right? That TV and the internet just kept on repeating every time we scroll. So I had to get offline. And so the first part was getting offline. How do I get offline, but I can't go outside? I started crafting. So now I make items. And I tell people that first year of making stuff, people were like, man, you just churning it out. You just churning it out. And I tell people like, yeah, thank you for, sorry about that car.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know when it's going to stop.
This is called real life. This is what we do. We're in the group chat,
life,
and this is what's happening.
And I think that was a good way for them to handle that. I think it stopped. But I say to people like, oh, thank you for enjoying the work that I showed you. I know I'm putting out a lot. I'm just doing it. Yo, the amount of work that I put out was like a correlation to the amount of stress that I had. I had enough work to fill like for my birthday, like the following year, I had an exhibit. You know how we do. I threw a thing together, and enough things that I could fill 4 walls at like a local art gallery, a local space. And I had a thing over the weekend, and I'm like, I don't know if people understand that until you explicitly say like, these are cute little things. This is the amount of pain. This is how much I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, but it's visualizing the pain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think there's also a way it's so funny you kind of talk about the pandemic and just like what you were producing to kind of
Yeah.
like deal with all of the things. My version of that is that I just worked. I literally had 4 jobs during the pandemic. 4. And
Wow.
but it felt very normal. And
Yes.
stepping away from it, I realized that was my way of just
Yeah.
dealing with, oh, we're literally not going outside ever. We're also going through a racial reckoning. You know, I'm really concerned if my son or my husband steps outside.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, well, I'm just gonna work. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
work. It's all
Yeah.
about our productivity is attached to our value, but then it's also attached to how we
Yeah.
deal with the things.
And don't you think, I mean, see, now we talking, let's talk money. Because when you say that, and us being Black women, like a lot of our value is tied to how much we can do for people, right? How much we can produce a thing, right? Or help or whatever. So when you said, like, you just, you know, blew my mind when you said, it was just normal, you know, like how much of that is normal? Like, yeah, me, instead of having a conversation, people would just be like, look at you, what are you good for? What am I good for? I'm good
Mhm.
for working. I'm good for showing up. I'm good for helping you. Let me help you with your baby shower. Let me, you know, and this whole process showed me also, like, you know, if I don't feel like it, I don't have to. And I started exercising that. Man.
And how did that feel? Because we all know, I
Mhm.
literally was at a friend's birthday party yesterday,
Yeah.
and every single one of us that walked through the door, A, because we love her, but secondly, just because how we're conditioned. How can I help? What
Yeah.
what what do you need?
What do you
You know,
need?
she had to go and do something at the end of the party. Like she went to go and pick up her dog, and we were all like, we are not leaving here until this house has to be back together. Chairs
Yeah.
away, table away, food packed away. It's like we can't help it.
Yeah. No.
we, we don't
We've
know how to
it
sit
makes
down.
us feel good to it makes us feel good to be valued like that, right? And but then, so it's like I'm saying, we need to find value elsewhere too, right? So like maybe it'd be nice to just be a guest, you know, like, and I'm learning to just sit, right? So I'm not saying that I just show up and things are on fire and I'm not gonna help. But if I just see like it's all vibes, you know, you got 2 or 3 people moving chairs around, you probably don't need me. I think I'm gonna enjoy being a guest today because
Mhm.
you invited me to celebrate with you. So I have to like remember, okay, why am I here? I'm not here to like, you know, like me and you talking the same language. I would do it in a more extreme way, even like the way that we know each other professionally is all this podcast and stuff.
Mhm.
And my introducing myself to the industry was, and I think back and I'm like, that's absolutely crazy. Marketing genius, but absolutely crazy. In 2016, I went to Third Coast. Yeah, 2016. And I was a Air New Voices, right? And they had one of these after parties at like one of these places.
Mhm.
And I realized there was a void. The party was not partying, right? And I'm a fake extrovert, right? Like I could just see the void and I could just be like, and I saw the DJ, he didn't give a damn, right? And I'm like, man, so I saw he had a microphone next to him and people were trying to get his attention, like, can you play Beyonce? Can you do this? Can you? And he was just like, lies, right? So
I'm playing what I want. This is my playlist. I'm not
right.
illegal.
But let me tell you the audacity I had, but I just went over to the side of the stage and I was like, hey, you mind? I can help you. Like, if you want me, can I help you? Help the party? Bro, then I ended up emceeing the party. So I didn't have to give out no business cards back in 2016. I introduced myself in a big way to our colleagues by just, so great marketing aspect, like self-promotional moment that I was subconsciously creating because I couldn't mind my business. I had to be of service because I felt spiritually, real talk, I'm gonna tell you, I felt awkward being there, right? I
Mhm.
didn't feel like what am I? I'm new here. Do I belong? Who do I even talk to? But you know what I needed? I knew how to do. I knew how. That's what I did. You know, as a kid, I emceed parties. I had events. So I'm like, I can move 200 people.
Mhm.
I feel weird. Do I have the job credits to like have this conversation about resumes? Nah. So I went and I inserted myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it worked because it worked. But did I have to? No, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we should be more careful with that. And I'm like thinking back to my younger self, like, you crazy. Like
it's like, yeah, it worked. It's like it worked, but at what cost?
Yes.
You know, like listening to the first episode of The Secret Life of TK Dutes, you know, you're talking about hustle. You're talking about hustle culture and how it's kind of like, I got to produce, I got to work, I got to grind. And so how did that experience have kind of been like, well, this double-edged sword of, oh, let's call it imposter syndrome, you know, like, oh, I maybe don't feel that I should be in this room, but I've got this skill and I'm kind of going to use it. How did that kind of translate into how you then worked? Because of course you stand up on a microphone, everyone's kind of like, you don't need a business card, everybody knows who you are.
Right.
So how did that moment then kind of transition into work and the way you worked until you got to a point of like, actually, I don't have to work this way. I don't have to just hustle. And I also don't have to just hustle and it always be about trauma and trauma within my community.
That part. You know, that was a long journey, you know, like I got, and I still get probably pigeonholed to this day, you know, and when you're just starting, you take those gigs, right? You do what you got to do. And also those gigs, like gigs about social justice, gigs about Black stuff, gigs about women stuff, LGBTQ stuff. It's that's for me, like it's an honor to do. Now the issue is when it's an honor to do and you're getting exploited to do the thing, you know what I'm saying? To do the thing that brings you, you know, closer to your community, right? So now you start to have a weird tainted relationship with the work. And you start to feel like, am I crazy? And that's like a big thing that followed me for a long time. If you keep telling me how important Black history, gay history, women history, all the histories, right? If you keep telling me how important they are, and then it's like, you know what, change my mind, right? And I'm like, wait, or just some other type of playing in your face that happens in our industry, then it's like, what are we doing here? You know? So I just felt myself getting hurt over and over. Or watching people in my periphery, or, you know, I'm mostly a producer. So watching my hosts, because, you know, I would be often paired up with hosts that look like me. Right. So I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't want to be caught up in that. Like, and at some point I am going to be, because if it happens to you, it's going to trickle down to me. So it's like, I just been trying to translate all these moments into what silver lining could I take from each thing, right? You take what you need, you discard the rest. And, you know, some of it has resulted in a kind of forgetful Jones of it, right? Because you bury down the traumas so that you can move forward. Because if you don't move forward, you don't make money. You can't make money. You can't make rent. So you know, and then that manifests in burnout, because you're just keeping all this stuff in. And I didn't realize I was until I couldn't do it anymore. And then when I couldn't do it anymore, I took myself out of everything. I didn't want to talk to anybody about this kind of work that we do. I didn't want to participate in applying for jobs. I was also, like, I was just scared. I was scared I was going to be burned. I was scared I was going to be rejected yet again. I was like, okay, maybe the rejection doesn't happen until the 6-month line I'm in, right? So, like, you know, when you realize, oh, I got used. Cool. Okay. Out of necessity, I started taking gigs and things that, okay, I said, well, I still got to eat. And thankfully, by that point, people started to know me, and I was able to cobble together a life with jobs that I believed in. Then I started thinking about, I saw other women going on sabbatical. I said, what's sabbatical? I had, you know, go around, ask my friends, and they're like, girl, it's a break. It's just a break. I said, what do you mean?
You're like, teach me your sabbatical ways.
Yeah. They're like, you literally just do whatever you want. And I was like, do whatever you want. I know that language. And shout out to Kim Fox, who at the time she was on the board of AIR, and I had just got on there, and she was telling me about her sabbatical from like the University of Cairo. And I'm like, oh, if you could take a break from the University of Cairo, I could take a break from my bedroom, my laptop in Brooklyn. Like, please, and thank you. So I gave myself a curriculum over time, learning new skills, going places, trying things out. And I learned the world is bigger than my bedroom, you know, and there's a lot to go see. So then I started to go see the world. And then I was like, I think I have something to say. And then the podcast started coming to me slowly, very slowly, but it started to come to me in different forms too. So what you hear now is not the thought that I had 3 years ago. It was a different thing. It was a
real journey. I want to get to that. You said something there. You kind of taught yourself, or you engaged in a curriculum over time. Break that down a little bit, because a number of people that I've talked to kind of through the Get Free Guide, we talk about this a lot, you know, and this is something with women, Black women in particular. We don't have hobbies. We don't have like our hobbies are working out is not a hobby. It's a necessity. for me.
Yeah.
There's no joy in this. I'm trying to live and not have my blood.
But for those of us that it is not, it's a necessity. It's people will tell you, oh, are you running or whatever? And I did try that running business. Exactly, it's business. I tried that running business. No. Not for me. And you know what they tell us too, because again, hobbies and things and interests, just exploring interests, are not seen of value unless you sell them. So that was the next hurdle. I was making these things, and the first thing people said, like, the first thing I showed on the internet, oh, how can I buy that from you? Now my brain is activated. My reptilian money brain is like, oh, right. And it's also a way of getting validation. So then a lot of us get talked into, and we're socialized. Our families will be like, oh, well, what are you going to do with that? Oh, you could sell that. Do you know you could sell that? Oh, you crocheted a sweater. If people knew how much a sweater costs properly for someone to make you a homemade sweater, they would stop asking people to sell it on any of these platforms, because it costs a lot of money for your family member to make you a sweater, but we don't appreciate that as work. So it's so funny. We don't appreciate these things that are hobbies as a craft, as a finance, has value, but we will tell someone to sell it to someone else. Don't sell it to me. Give it to me for free. Sell it to someone else.
Come on. Because knitting and crocheting is hard, but hard. But it is that thing of, everything has to be monetized. And it comes back to where we were earlier in the conversation about productivity. You have to be productive. It can't just be, I'm just going to do this purely because I enjoy it. So with this curriculum that you, like, did you kind of design it, or was it kind of more curiosity and vibes?
Yeah, curiosity and vibes. You know, I had to come to first figure out what I wanted to do. What did I like? We talked about like the sourdough bread, right? Like, I tried a million things. I was making ice cream. I was doing closet in crafts, and 20% the thing that I stuck with. And now I'm adding a new one. I'm getting into dollhouses. Why? I don't know. The internet, just vibes. So, and so like I would follow those vibes. So watch YouTube videos about the thing, the topic. I really love art and design. So my curriculum is today I'm going to watch 3 videos about this design architect. I know YouTube is going to feed me more in my algorithm. Great. I'll click the button. Let's keep going. I just left myself open. And then I said, also add to the curriculum. Oh, I heard about this thing that I liked. They're doing a show in New Jersey. I live in New York. Let's get on a train. Let's go to New Jersey. New Jersey turned into down south. Down south turned into the Midwest, which is in episode 2. So then I started to literally follow the vibes. And I was saying, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. That's my mantra. So every time I would see something, I'm like, if my body goes, hell, you know what? Hell yeah. I would just go do it. I would go do it.
Like not overthinking it, not, oh, let me, it's kind of like, I'm just going to do that.
But you're going to do a lot of stuff you hate, or not to hate, say hate doing, that you didn't enjoy because you're trying to find out what you do enjoy.
But it's the point that you tried.
Yes.
And you've had that moment of like, okay, this isn't for me. Yeah. But it's that thing, if you never try, you might find something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like this is so me. And so it's kind of really, what I'm hearing is you made time. You were very intentional about your time to kind of say, I'm going to follow the vibe. I'm going to follow the curiosity. And I'm going to make time in my day to go on the internet, use the internet for something useful. And let me see kind of where.
And it narrows it down as you go. But I think a lot of people just don't believe that. They just don't believe that finding something to do is something they have time for, like something not to do, but so finding something to enjoy is something they have time for, and also wanting to be perfect at it. If it's a craft, or if it's a something, some people like coding for fun. They think they're supposed to be perfect the first time. I'm like, nah, babe, that it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be broken. It's gonna be, and I'm like, the jam is in the journey, man. Let's party, you know?
You got the quotes. I'm literally writing them all down. I'm like, the jam is in. I love that. Make that a sticker and sell it.
I'm like, you know what? That's funny because shit like that comes up, and I have a sticker pack to give you when I see you.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. So we got to where the idea for the podcast, again, like, people have heard you on kind of NPR's Life Kit, various other places, like, you are out there doing the work. But Secret Life of TK Dutes, like it's personal, it feels like part memoir, but you're also kind of pulling in people for conversations. So you're very much kind of like, this isn't just your journey alone. So just talk to me a little bit about just like how you kind of brought all that together so that it didn't just feel like work. It really kind of felt like this, continuing this journey of the curiosity and the vibes.
Yeah. I mean, that was like you said, didn't feel like work. It's hard work to do, right? And to be confronted with all these things about yourself over and over. I listened to before it hits y'all, I listened to them between 6 to 12 times, in different iterations, right? But I know one thing is I enjoy working with different people. So the first experiment was, and I think of the podcast as an experiment, right? We in this industry, y'all know that I know how to work, so I don't have to prove it. I am now proving to myself that I can turn all these things that jumble in my brain into something different. And that was the challenge I gave myself. So first I gave myself a challenge in this experiment. The second thing is who's going to come along for that challenge with me in this experiment. And every episode has a different producer, which gives them a different flavor, a different texture. And each person that I approached kind of has a similar, it might not be a direct one-to-one because there's some folks on here that's like, oh, that's an interesting choice. But I saw something in them that I was like, oh, can you help me tell my story about this thing? And bringing in those people first as the behind the scenes other people gives it a texture and a point of view, because they challenge me too. Because they're like, okay, yeah, I know it's your life, but this other stuff, or how I see it, I'm like, oh, I'm looking inside of my, from my brain about me. They're looking from outside about me and also about the topic and what also they've been through. So like that's peppered in. And then I'm like, whoa, next level. I actually just want to talk to people that maybe have been through a thing, or just like I find myself intrigued by, because I know there's something in you that I can learn from. And in me learning about you and your craft or your struggle or your triumph, that I find mirrors in all these people. So everyone you heard from or are gonna hear from, I'm like, we could sound as different and we could look as different and we could have all these different life experiences. But I promise you, Joanne, it's a mirror that I'm seeing myself in these people. So my friend said, so you trying to like, are you Jedi mind tricking people? Because we came for you, we got them, but then I also got you in getting them. And I was like, yes, that's it. That's the one. That's what I was trying to do. But I didn't know I was trying to do it. But now that I know I'm trying to do it, I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah. So this is like this great experiment. And then also it's all like not a linear, healing is non-linear. So the story is not. I'm going to come back around. This grief is going to circle back. I might be happy in this episode. I might not be happy in the next one. So we go a lot of places.
Life. Yeah, that's real life. Like, you know, I get really twitchy with anyone. Whenever you speak to them, they're always happy. I'm like, no. That's like, if you are living, breathing, and paying attention, like that actually cannot be true. There's that sounds like suppression. You know, you talk about grief and you have a really like very poignant episode about grief where you're actually kind of talking with a friend and you know the conversation kind of starts through talking about the loss of your dearly beloved pets, and then it kind of like just goes in so many ways. Talk to us a bit about that, because I think grief actually isn't talked about enough, and I think in thinking about kind of how we get free, how we move forward in life, like we also have to have tools and an understanding and permission to grieve over all kinds of things. Loved ones, dearly loved pets, our jobs, the lives that we thought that we're gonna the world that we thought that we were gonna live in, you know. So so talk to me a bit more about that, because I don't know, I thought it was really lovely you tackled it.
You know, I think as a, you know, like single, you know, meaning like the government doesn't think I have a partner, right? You know what I'm saying? Like until I sign a piece of paper. Like as a single Black lady with a cat, you get a lot of weird shit, you know? You questions about, oh, well, what does your future look like? You're going to have kids? Like a lot of weird stuff coming your way. And then, you know, there's the lack of being celebrated in a lot of things, right? You know, people don't understand you till you fall in line. And I am living this life where I don't know, like it's just maybe not. I'm not doing the thing that everyone getting married or whatever. I'm not doing the thing. So I'm realizing people didn't know how to interact with me. Family, you know, loved ones. A lot of my friends are having kids. They're better because we're all on the same like wavelength mentally, but like some people just aren't. So I was realizing I'm grieving this thing. I'm grieving not being asked, you know, how I'm doing, right? Because how I'm doing, if you don't got kids, then people think you are having fun all the time, right? Like, you know, and that you can't be sad or that you can't be sad that that's not happening for you. And so I was grieving what I perceived as being different than what society wanted. And then I was grieving, this cat taught me, you know, Mrs. Peabody, she taught me what I would stand for, right? You know, in just her being a cat, right? Like the boundaries, right? She wouldn't, if a certain person was over the house, she ain't like them, she wouldn't come out. And I'm like, lesson, right? She would be clear about what she wanted, right? She had a way of asking for her food. She wanted to come in the door. She would, you know, scratch it a certain way. And I'm like, am I learning from you? Is it to be clear? To have boundaries, to, you know, so as our relationship deepened, I'm learning about myself through this damn cat. And I'm realizing that I have a lot of grief and a lot of things that I need to process. And what am I running from? And what are all the things? So like disenfranchised grief is valid. disenfranchised grief is all the grief that is not physical and people oriented, and you know what I'm saying, the grief that we know. It's just life grief. Seeing people get killed every day on my TV, life grief, right? Like not being able, you know, like I'm feeling a certain way of people know me, but in my mind, people knowing me and where my career has reached, that's grief because it don't match. Right? If you know me,
it comes back to that value thing that we were talking about.
Yeah. And I was putting all kinds of value on that, right? And even getting mad after a while at like people that meant well, they're just like, oh, TK, you know, you're doing the damn thing. And my brain was like, if I was doing the damn thing, why didn't you tell somebody that could change my material condition? Right? You know, I do still feel that way, but I have like, I'm working through it, you know, in a way that I wasn't before. So confronting myself in this tape over and over, having to edit myself, having to give notes and listen to other people therapize me. My producers are basically, I got 7 therapists.
Why would you do that to yourself? Having one is enough.
I'm gonna have to take a break after this show, I promise, after the finale.
It truly, like it's so good. But I love that you're also kind of taking all of this on the road, you know. So you're actually you're in Detroit, is where we're speaking with you today. So talk to me a bit about the live show element and why it was important to do that. Like, because you could have just done the podcast, we could have listened to it, digested it, kind of like asked ourselves questions, like had that mirror put up in front of us, but you went that extra step. So kind of what is kind of being on the road, kind of, you know, being in community and having that conversation with people kind of face to face? How's that?
I think it's like you got to be honest with yourself. And I've just been like, I'm either doing something or I'm not, right? And I know that, like, and I think a lot of us know that when you do something, if you're not asking for help or you don't have money for it or whatever, like you do what you can. So I saw this sale. I got a USA Rail Pass. It was on sale. So I got it for 50% off. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. So I'm riding the rails for 30 days for 50% off. So basically it was a $500 ticket. It's $250. You can hit up to 10. They call them segments, but it's like saying you could go to 10 places. Every time you step off the train, that's a segment. So I said, how can I massage this and say, let me go talk to some people, right? People seem interested in this thing. And I know one thing I know about myself is, well, first I'll say the internet is a motherfucking lie. The internet is very hard to convert people from, say, click on my show, click on my podcast, it's hard to get them from Instagram or TikTok to your show, right? So my brain was like, yes, of course I'm going to post the reels. I'm going to do the things. I'm going to post on LinkedIn. I'm pumping. Joanne, I'm getting in people's inboxes. I'm DMing them. I'm doing all the things. So I said, well, what are you good at doing? I said, I'm good at being in the room. So I said, what if I take this train ticket and just go be in the room? This was very hastily planned. So I'm depending on the kindness of others. I'm here at my friend's house and studio in Detroit. 2 days ago, I was in community at with Anna Deshawn at a podcast salon that she said, I said, I'm coming through. She said, save the date. Doors open at 6:30. We talking at 7. I said, say less. You know, I'm depending on people. One thing, Anna Deshawn, shout out to her from the Cube app. She also has a great queer news podcast. She taught me that people see helping you. Some people will see that as an opportunity and they will just help you. So I am learning to receive that without saying, okay, well, what do I owe you back? You know, because that's my first instinct too. Because now I'm having I'm not gonna lie, I have a little low key tally. Like, okay, when Anna comes to New York, when Kyrie comes to New York, okay, I gotta figure out how I could. But right now in this moment, I'm receiving and I'm learning. Like, man, people just want the opportunity to help.
Yeah.
Allow it,
Mm-hmm.
So, and in this conversation of ease and your show, also I'm not going to make it too complicated. I cannot physically plan 10 events in 30 days. So sometime it's just going to be a happy hour. I'll meet y'all at the bar, or tomorrow I'm going to meet people at the museum, or I'm just going to say it. If anyone shows up, cool. If no one shows up, I had a great day at the museum. Ease.
Like, how are you getting free? Like, what does being free today mean for you? Knowing that tomorrow it might look a little different, but what does it look like today?
Being free today. For me, that looks like, honestly, like the continued theme of like following my spirit, following where the energy goes, just allowing myself, giving myself permission, like even in the hobby stuff, or even in this podcast thing, like, okay, so the story is changing shape. Instead of throwing away the story, maybe we make a new shape. It's okay. Like being less stringent, because these are the things we can control. I can't control my day job stuff, but I can control my stuff. So why not? Like, why not? Now it's, instead of a triangle, it's a square. It's fine. Nobody's going to die. And that's also another thing. No one's going to die. And if they did, it wasn't my fault. I don't have that kind of power. So child, call 911. I didn't do it. Like, so I'm just letting ease happen. I'm doing my best to let ease happen. I'm also like, you can't just, I'm confronting a lot of stuff that I didn't have the energy to confront before, right? So working through stuff. And I use this example of, I was in a state of, I just couldn't do my financial stuff, right? A lot of freelancers have that issue, but I really had that issue, I'm not going to act like I'm healed. But I started working on that. In these past 6 months, I've been confronting that, and I'm realizing that that's something that, like, I was so ashamed of that I kept avoiding it, pushing it down. But I'm like, oh, confronting it eventually when I can, because, if you do something when you can't, you risk putting yourself in more trauma, more mental load, whatever. So I figured out, oh, I feel strong now. I can talk to this professional. I could get my papers in order, because I realized, wow, if you don't have the information, you can't apply for stuff. I'm losing out on, I'm blocking my own blessings. I'm losing out on all these things I could be applying for that could help my life, that I could be less salty about, right? And I'm like, wow, I did that to myself. But I also want to be gentle, and that's another way I'm healing and moving through and getting joy, is being gentle with old me. I did not have the capacity. I could not do the things, and it's okay. But look at me now. Look at me now trying. Not, I'm not going to say like we won. I'm trying. And I think that's been a big get free moment. So it doesn't mean just go do whatever you want. It means do whatever you want and get it and get what you need done, in the capacity that you have.
Wow. That feels like a word right there. Like I said, I'm old school, so I have like a notepad and a pen.
Yes.
Here, I was even looking at what you had in your email, your email signature. There is no such thing as a podcast emergency. To your point,
Yes.
Nobody died.
No. We're literally recording. It's recorded. It's somewhere.
It's not even live.
It's not even live, y'all. This is not. We have a radio. Well, I think it's gone. 1010 Wins in New York City, and the whole thing was it was very live. 1010 Wins. We give you 10 minutes. You give us 10 minutes, and we give you the world. Like, we're not operating on that. That's whenever I heard 1010 Wins music, I got so much anxiety as a child. I was like, 10 minutes, y'all.
What's happening?
What's happening? No, we podcasting. It'll be fine.
It'll be absolutely fine. Well, TK, thank you so much. Like you said, we literally could sit here and talk for absolute hours. So we're going to do that when you come to LA. Like, we'll have some lunch, some dinner, some all of that, and actually come catch up properly. But seriously, thank you so much. Everyone, go and check out The Secret Life of TK Dutes. Go and look at the artwork. Like, there's just so many things. This is a a creation machine. So yeah, thank you for sharing your getting frees. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me, Joanne. I appreciate you too.
See, I told you it was a really great conversation that just ranged through so many things. What our cats can teach us, grief, and how hustle just kind of ain't always it. I particularly really loved the bit where TK was talking about building out curricula to help her and really kind of engage with her life. So, as I said at the beginning, check out the show notes for a link to the podcast, The Secret Life of TK Dutes. You can sign up for the Get Free Guide at getfree.guide, and you can follow us on the Instagrams at Get Free Guide. All right. I'll see you next time. Take care.